Hey guys, Definitely26 here, and welcome to a bit of an update video, and this time we're going to be talking about AOR, and as you will know if you've been following my channel over the past 4 weeks or so, I'm racing in AOR on the Xbox One in Tier 2 for Season 11, and if you've seen my highlights, you will know that I'm currently leading the championship by 23 points, after winning the first 3 races and coming second in Spain. And the next race is Canada, so I thought we'd chuck a bit of Canada footage on in the background of this video. But last night I got a message on the AOR forums telling me that I've been moved up to Tier 1, which I was like, fair enough, that's not a problem obviously, because I was quick enough to be moved up to Tier 1. My race time in Spain would have put me second in Tier 1, and my race time in Australia would also put me a second in Tier 1. So, obviously I have the pace. And another thing was Biggzy and Midget, who were in the Ferrari, if you watched my highlights. Midget won in Spain, and Biggzy had been consistently coming second before that, were also asked to move up into Tier 1. So, that was all fine in itself, but obviously, if you know about AOR, there's obviously the big step up from Tier 2 to Tier 1, as the fact that Tier 1 does not allow the racing line, and as you can see on my screen right now, I'm using the racing line. So this is obviously a huge issue for me, Biggzy and Midget, as we all use the racing line, and we pretty much didn't want to turn it off, so we didn't want to move up to Tier 1, but the coordinators said that we were too quick for Tier 2, and therefore we had to move up to Tier 1. So even though with the line off, so my PB around Canada is a 12.3, I think. I haven't tried without the line off, but I suspect I'll be probably doing mid-13s. Well, actually, no, not mid-13s, probably low 13s, or maybe even the occasional high 12. But that is a huge drop-off of time, which is going to make me completely uncompetitive in Tier 1, and it's not going to be an enjoyable for me to race there. Same with Biggzy and Midget, but obviously qualifying isn't where you mainly suffer, because in the race, the racing line, obviously it helps you a lot with consistency. So in my Australia race, I don't think I made any mistakes whatsoever. However, if I had the racing line off, I would have made a ton of mistakes, and I will make a ton of mistakes, because I've been playing these games with the racing line on for quite a long time now, and obviously I've played this game for 8 or 9 months with the racing line on, so you can't just suddenly chuck me in and say, oh, you've got to turn it on, race on Sunday, have fun. Also, obviously the fact that Canada, this mainly applies for Canada, but it will apply to some other tracks, is obviously it's a massive corner cutting track, and with the strict rules, it's also going to be a huge problem, because if you miss your braking point because you're inconsistent and you aren't very good without the line like me, I'm going to overshoot a corner and cut another corner, which is going to give me a penalty. And if I do this too many times, 6 or 7 times, let's say, oh, boom, disqualified, out of the race. Fun, great race, GG. So that's also a point that was brought up in this discussion. So Biggzy, Midget, and I had basically said, no, we don't want to turn the line off. This is basically not acceptable. You can't force us to move up to Tier 1. And the coordinators were like, no, you have to move up. But despite the fact that we really aren't much quicker than everyone else. In Malaysia, for example, I got pole ahead of Smithy City, who hasn't been asked to move up, by I think 0.072. And Gymnast came third in Bahrain, beating Midget, and Genius came third in Spain, beating Biggzy. So clearly we're really not that much faster than everyone else. I could name quite a few drivers who could challenge us at the moment, and if they practice, they could probably challenge us as well. But Genius and Gymnast were definitely on our pace. Round Gymnast when he doesn't get disqualified and has a good track, so like at Bahrain. Smithy City, he's been very unlucky. He's also on our pace. Scott isn't too far off our pace. I think, I'm not sure how much practice he does, but I reckon he's there or thereabouts. Same with Matt 23 1985, who was quite competitive in Australia and Malaysia. He's just been unlucky with a few issues this game. And also Corbs, he didn't race in Spain, but he's about around the same pace as Scott as Matt. So that's excuse me, 6 or 7 drivers who have the pace to be up there. So Biggzy, Midget, and I just said that this is completely. There are people who have the pace, and there's no need to move us up, as it is very competitive, and we will not be competitive in Tier 1, and it's not going to be fun for us. And we made all sorts of points as to how it was competitive and how turning the line off would not be fun and not be enjoyable for us. But the coordinators, they don't care. They don't care. They're going to make us turn the line off, and I can confirm that I have been forced to race in Tier 1 now without the line. So, highlights from Canada, probably getting disqualified or running around at the back for the whole race. Great fun. Should be up next week. But it's just really not what I signed up to do on AOR. I expected to have some fun, clean and fair racing, but I've just been chucked in. Well, it's not fair at all, really. I've been chucked in and forced to do something completely against my will by the coordinators. I'm sure Biggzy and Midget feel the same. And back to the point in the first place, we asked on the forums, Biggzy, Midget and I, whether the drivers in the league had a problem with us being there, or whether they thought we were too fast and we should just jog on up to Tier 1. And Smithy City, who probably have a huge shot at the championship, where if we left, said, no, there's not a problem. You are not much faster enough us. You should stay. Which is a huge statement. Stubborn Gymnast and Josh Shuttle, Super Joshi, also agree with that. I haven't heard back from anyone else. So basically, everyone thinks that we should stay, from who I've asked, apart from the Genius, who will also conveniently have a shot at the title if we move up. So it's just quite annoying, to say the least, really, considering everyone in the league wants us to stay, and we don't want to move up, but the coordinators are forcing us to do this, which is just not going to be fun for us. So we've moved up now, and that's just not what I was expecting. I've not been happy, really, with how this situation has been handled. I think it's been handled very poorly, because now we're at the back of the championship. We've missed 4 races. Dizzy Cupid, who's winning the championship, has 100 points. He's won every single race. Obviously, we're not going to be fighting for him, because, as you know, if you've seen the F1 League, he's mega quick. But we've lost a huge amount of ground in the championship to anyone who we would be fighting, and there's just no point, really. And the huge issue here is Biggzy and I have both suggested, what if we don't want to race without the line-off? What if we refuse? What if we pull out? But no. Apparently that counts as leaving without a valid reason, which is totally wrong. That is a completely valid reason as to why we don't want to race. The fact that we're being forced to race. Forced, keyword. It's not like we have a choice without the line-off. And we don't want to race without the line-off. We don't have the time to practice without the line-off. It's not fun without the line-off. It's too difficult for us after playing the game for so long with the line on, that it's just pointless. So, no, we'd be blacklisted. So I have to continue in Tier 1 unless I want to be permanently banned from the leagues, which is very annoying, to be honest. But that's what it is, and unfortunately I'll have to race in Tier 1. And you will see me racing there for Canada, and highlights will be coming out around this time next week. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you were informed by my little rant, I guess, or opinion onto what's happened, and I hope you also enjoyed the footage in the background. It was quite a fun race. I am much faster than that. I did a race again after this and won it by 10 seconds. But as you see, Vettel and I had the same time there across the line. So it was good fun, and I'll see you guys for the next video, which should be the F1 League highlights in Abu Dhabi. Goodbye.